previously I was here and I programmed a brand new PCM for this truck. So we got a brand new PCM from the dealer, programmed it, and now the truck goes into closed loop. But when I was briefly looking at it after I programmed it, I saw the fuel trims were like plus 25 on both banks. So I know that it was running extremely lean. Now here what I'm doing is I'm gonna smoke test it first. Once we smoke test it, we confirm that there's no leaks like so as far as vacuum, then we will go further. But currently right now what we're gonna do is smoke test this. And we're gonna see how it works. I got this awe tool. It's a pretty good machine. I got it set kind of low right now on the smoke. I don't want it pumping out too much. I can turn it up if I want to. And it'll pump out more and more. So this thing does an excellent job on smoke testing. Quite honestly, I didn't see anything at all. It may be necessary. Well, actually we cannot remove this air box. The air box appears to be built into the intake manifold, I do believe. Could be wrong about that, but I think it's molded in. Yeah, it definitely is. What a design, huh? Or no, maybe it's not molded in, I'm sorry. It's bolted on, we can remove it. So we may have to do that to see what's really going on. I'm gonna start it up or look at some live data and go from there. North America Common D40. We're not gonna go through all of this stuff here. We're gonna turn off pretty much all of it. I don't care to scan the entire truck. I mean, realistically, all I want to do is the engine. So we'll just do that. No fault codes. Okay, that's cool. We can handle that, no faults, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to go to live data. All signals. I'm going to go ahead and start it up now. This is a manual transmission. Scroll through and get our data. Air fuel adjustment. Air fuel sensor, which we don't really need that. Mass air, we do need that. Engine speed, alpha. Oh, this is a 4-cylinder, it's not both banks. Okay. I forgot, it's been a while since I was here. Last I was here, I saw the fuel trim was like way positive. But currently, it is not way positive. It appears to be just fine, to be honest. Now we're starting to get some positive trims. Turned the AC on and it jumped up real high. Okay. So I'll run with the AC on for a second and we'll try and let this, we'll see if we can get this to get worse. He said that what's going on is before it would lack a lot of power and it would stall out. Now it seems to have power, but sometimes when he turns or whatever, it'll still stall out. Now I believe that I did the idle relearn procedure. I may not have, but I think that I did. I'm pretty sure that I did, unless it was failing for some reason. It may have been failing. I have to look at the invoice, to be honest, and see what was going on. But here we are. We got, you know, positive 20 fuel trim, and the RPMs are still at 900, so I don't really want to raise it yet. I'm trying to let the RPMs come down a little bit, but perhaps they don't. Perhaps 900 is where they're kind of staying. which seems too high. All right, 800, low 900s and 800s. I think it's supposed to be like, you know, low 800, 750, something like that probably would be a good range. Slow to warm up this vehicle. Fuel trim staying right there around 20% additional. So I'll give it a minute and then I'll get you guys back on. I turned the air off and here we are, 3 grams per second, which I think that's probably correct for the engine size being a 4-cylinder, 750 RPM, and we still have that positive 20% fuel trim. Now I'm gonna raise the RPMs up. Let's go 2,000 if we can. And look at our fuel trim. It's essentially perfect. So what does that tell us? It seems like we have a vacuum leak. I mean, the fuel trim is basically perfect right now. Now, I have not seen the vacuum leak on this thing, but it's there. It's got to be there. Where could it be? Because now our fuel trim is even higher. Now it's fluctuating between 120 and 125. So we've added roughly probably an average of 5% to this. Now that we've come off the RPM. Man, I feel like it's a vacuum leak. What else could it be? This is a clean truck. Let me go ahead and shut it off. I assume that the fuel trims will get worse and worse and worse as time goes on. The mass air is even lower now. RPM is lower, right? We've dropped about 100 RPM, 90 RPM, and so our grams per second dropped almost a gram, or at least 0.7 grams. So things are looking perfect, you know, other than that lean condition with no fault codes. And he said that he did have a lean condition prior. And he said that he had PO, I think 171 is what it was. So here we are. We know we have a vacuum leak. I highly doubt it's the exhaust with the O2 sensor or anything like that, because this truck is just so clean. You know, granted the aluminum is doing a little bit of the corroding, but I mean, really, look at this Nissan Frontier. I mean, seriously, it's not been detailed. It's still dusty and dirty, but this truck looks brand new. Right? So what's most likely? Well, I think that most likely we're dealing with a vacuum leak. That's what I think. Now I have to prove it. How can we prove this to be so? I believe this is a timing chain. Perhaps our purge valve, I don't know. You know, perhaps the purge valve is an issue. I'm going to go ahead and start it up, unplug the purge valve, check for purge valve command, or we don't even need to do that. I'm just going to unplug it, disconnect the hose, and see if it's sucking through it all. Okay, that's disconnected. And I would say that no. I don't have a vacuum gauge on there, but there is no vacuum coming through that purge valve. There's just none. That's not our concern. What else could it be? I heard the brake booster earlier when I disconnected it. I pulled this out and we had vacuum. So I know that that's holding vacuum. I suppose the engine block from the breather, right? Is that a possibility? Could we have an oil leak on this truck? I doubt that. I really, really doubt that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull this airbox off. Okay, after getting my butt kicked for quite a while on this vehicle, I'm sitting here at, what, 2100 RPM? And our air-fuel ratio is positive 20-something%. I did not find any vacuum leaks on this thing, so what I think is going on is our air-fuel ratio sensor is faulty. So I'm gonna let off the gas now. Let's watch what it does. It's kind of stumbling a little bit. The vehicle's getting a little shaky. You guys can't see it. 122, right? Let's raise the RPMs back up. And we're still positive. Now what I did was idle air volume relearn again. But what I'm trying to capture is the fact that sometimes when I'm accelerating, the fuel trim is perfect. But no, the fuel trim is low. They say they got a new pump in here. And so now we're running lean at all times. I definitely think that what we have going on here is not a mass air problem, but I think it's a faulty air-fuel ratio sensor. That's what I think. Because earlier the fuel trims got better, now they're not. So something is definitely being affected by the temperature. I'm gonna tell them, let's get an air-fuel ratio sensor and start from there. All right, guys. Back on our Nissan Frontier here. The shop said they replaced the air-fuel sensor, and now they believe it's fixed. I did tell them that, you know, I didn't know what was wrong with it, to be honest. I said, you know, the mass airflow sensor looked like it was operating as it should. Everything appeared, oh boy. Wasp was trying to get into the vehicle. Everything appeared to be functioning as it should, and I just could not figure it out. Sorry for the glare here. This is, you know, we're in the sunshine state, and Autel did not design their tool to be used outside. No faults on the engine. I don't know why I did a full vehicle scan, but is what it is. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me take this lens off here. That probably didn't help. Maybe it helped, I don't know. Instead of having that rainbow on there. All right, so anyways, yeah. No faults in the engine. We got one ABS fault. Now, just because we don't have any faults on the engine doesn't mean that it is for sure running better. I mean, it feels like it's running pretty well. Engine signal 10 times from the ABS. Oh boy. That sounds like it's stalled out, but I don't know. Do we have an ABS light on? No, we don't. Let's go to live data. All signals. None of that, none of that, none of that. Here's air fuel. Nope. Throttle position. I want to see the mass air again. Engine speed. Alpha. Look at that. Okay. I think that it is fixed. Can you believe that? Okay. Now, let's see here. Wow, it's so terrible, man. You can't see nothing. All right, I think you guys can see that. I have the AC on, so our mass airflow is 4 grams per second, which I can turn that off at a 750 RPM. And we have 98%, which means it's running just 2% rich. Okay, there we go. Now to 104, 99. I think that it is fixed. Oh, you guys can't see that. There, now you can see it. Sorry. The bottom number, 97, is our air fuel alpha bank 1, meaning that's our fuel trim. 100 is 14.7 or 14.1. Probably on this truck it's 14.7 to 1 AFR. So, you know, anything less than 100 is, like, we're at 98. That's 2% rich. It's taking away 2% fuel to keep that air fuel ratio stoichiometric. If it goes above 100, whatever number it is, it's adding that percentage fuel. 105, 103, 102, 101. So, my goodness gracious, this vehicle is fixed. Air fuel sensor, I just wanted to, I didn't think I was going to be able to do anything with this video. I may not have been, but fantastic fix. I was unable to figure it out other than fuel trims. Fuel trims is what led me to believing that the air fuel sensor was faulty, but I didn't do a charge that day because I wasn't 100% sure. I couldn't say it without a shadow of a doubt. Anyways, yeah, awesome. This is a win. We got this thing fixed. Fantastic, guys. Hopefully you have a great one. We'll see you next time. This was a tough one for me. There's no fault codes, and I don't do a whole lot of drivability, to be honest with you. But the good old fuel trims told us the truth. With all of the other data looking good, we really only had one option, and that was to put a good air fuel sensor in there. If you like real world diagnostics like this, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.